It is Jiggy TV. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing at this stage of the game. But I am a much better flower than I thought I would be. And it's day number 6. Pick up sticks. And
the middle.
Kansas State Fair 2022 and
KJAG TV out at the Kansas State Fairgrounds. And Ron, I have been talking to you for probably going on 6 years.
Yeah, and this is my 17th year here.
Yeah.
So I've known you a few years now.
So every year we talk to you, and every year I learn something new. And just before we got on, the world famous Bob Hunter, my photographer, the star of Stage and Screen, was asking you some stats. I'm blown away by these stats. So how many shows have you done?
20,000 total out here. I can't even begin to tell you. I average about 20 a fair here. So if you multiply that times 17 years, that's close to 200 to 300 shows a year alone.
Wow, that's amazing. So one of the things that the first year I seen you out here, you didn't hardly have, it was the middle of the day, and it was hot, and there was hardly anybody in the stands, but you still drew a crowd. You didn't draw as big a crowd as you usually do, and you were doing card tricks and mentalism stuff. Talk to me a little bit about that, because everybody knows you from you getting people on stage and having sold out things. What do you do when you don't have much of a crowd and you are on?
Well, there's 3 kinds of fairs in the country. There's the real little ones. It's more like a little fair, and then you got the county fairs. Then you have state fairs, and I don't care what kind of fair it is. There's always days that are slow because the weekends are packed. People can't go to the fair maybe but once, maybe if they're lucky twice. So they're going to pick their days. And so on school days, especially, the days are slow. So as a hypnotist, you're not going to get enough people sometimes to get enough of them on stage. I always say the rule of thumb is it takes 10 people in the audience to get 1 volunteer up on the platform. So if you got 200 people, you're okay, but less than that, you're in trouble. So instead of canceling the show, which a lot of them will do, the fairs go, well, you do some good shows, so we don't care about the ones you cancel, but I don't believe in that stuff. You put one person in.
You are a consummate professional.
Oh, I can entertain one person. But the point is, you can't do it with hypnosis. So I basically do what I call taking it off the stage and out into the audience. And I let however many people are there play with the concepts of hypnosis. So it's really fun.
That's awesome. So I've seen you do card tricks. I've seen you do a little bit of everything. What was some of the first things that you learned getting into this art and this business?
Well, I started my entertainment career. I was actually trained as a dancer. And I became a choreographer and show designer for the Walt Disney Company.
Yes.
And when I was with Disney, I was severely So now I can really enjoy it because I'm not overworking. I used to do 20 fairs a year, now I'm doing about 8.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
still 80 to 100 days on the road, but I absolutely love it. So it's just one of those deals where when I walk in front of somebody, I say to myself, there are people here that's probably never seen me before, or they're back for a reason. I got to give them 150%. I can't act like this is a job, and of course it isn't. It only takes us to see that one cracked smile in the audience. I'm sold right then and there.
That's awesome. Well, I interviewed the new guy here at the fair this year, and he was telling me that last year they had to cancel 1 or 2 of your shows because they had some scheduling issues or whatever. And he said, I heard about it all year until the kickoff of this fair.
Well,
you were like an icon out here.
Well, I count my blessings. They always brought me back on the contingency of people's input,
Yeah.
Facebook. I mean, never underestimate the power of your word.
Yes.
So, but what was happening, we had a whole fresh series of people handling the entertainment and the
Yeah.
sound people, and what happened is you get higher end bands in here, and then you don't give enough time for setup.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
wound up having to cancel a few shows because the setup time took too
Yeah.
long. And of course, we've revamped it now to where if that were to happen again, I said, I could work out in front of the deck on stage. I don't have to be up there. I can get out in the middle of the audience and still do a show. So
That's awesome.
they went, okay, we're going to take care of that.
So, one of the things you did one year, and I seen, I think me and Brittany came to one of your shows, and you did it at night. That is phenomenal with the lights and everything. Are you still doing that?
Oh, I don't do it here because
Okay.
they're not, the company here handles everything, and I'm not performing at night. My last shows are always about 7 o'clock now. They put bands on, but there are fairs I do. Like the one after this one will be a full lights, lasers, fog machines. I'll do sound and lighting for all the bands that are coming and everything.
Wow.
So I don't just perform, I also do sound and lights.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
You've got yourself quite the deal there.
Yeah, I've been doing it a long, long time.
That's awesome. So, talk to me, you mentioned earlier the power of social media. Talk to me about what people say about you on social media, because a couple of years ago, it wasn't that big of a deal, but now, if people are mad or they're upset or they're putting something over, that's the first place they go to.
Right.
What is social media like with you?
I've been very fortunate. I can knock on wood and count maybe on 2 hands the number of negative things I've had on mine. And here's the reason I believe that.
I'm shocked you had 2.
Well, it's always something really kind of like, well, I was trying to get in the show and there wasn't enough tickets, that kind of stuff. And, but what happens
The marks
is,
are upset.
I am one of those people that have religiously believed that if you I will not get online ever and talk politics or religion.
That's
Because
awesome.
the minute you do, you're going to lose. You're going to freaking lose 50% of your people.
Yes.
And sometimes you'll lose 50% of your business.
That too.
So the way I have constantly had my social media is 100% for my friendships and my family and my business only. And it has, and we don't get into anything negative against people or about people gets wiped off totally because I'm 100% into positive energy. And by putting out positive energy, you're going to get back a lot less negative energy.
Yes, absolutely. So, this year, what has this been like with, like on Saturday when it was raining? Did you have any issues with that?
I just did my well and dolphin show. No, sometimes it freaks me out because even though I'm undercover, unless it's just a drenching downpour, it can rain pretty heavy, and they'll sit out there and get soaking wet and still watch the show. So that's what they did on Saturday. I don't get it. But they do. I always walk out and say, "Get a life, folks. If you're going to sit out in the rain for a show, you're not getting enough entertainment. Trust me."
So, when you go to these fairs, these festivals, you obviously get days off. You obviously, have time away from performing and being on stage. You're not a robot, for God's sakes.
I teach during the day before I come to the fair every morning. I teach Bible, so
Really?
I get online, they pay me to teach them their ground school and their instrument work, and I have a huge full-scale approved flight simulator I take on the road.
I never knew.
So I can watch them fly, I can teach them online, and it's really, really cool.
That's awesome.
And I also do graphic design. I've got, when COVID hit, a lot of churches especially who went to online streaming, they maybe have people that know how to run the cameras and stuff, but a lot of them don't have the ability to do their weekly graphics, the television stuff, the lower thirds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I have a whole bunch of entities every week that send me their stuff and I can design their graphics for the TV.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I'm adult ADD. That's what it boils down
That's
to.
what it boils down to.
I'm adult ADD. I don't have downtime. If I
don't have
only when I
downtime.
sleep, when I'm up, I'm going to be doing something.
Doing something. So has it gotten to the point when you go to these fairs and stuff that the fair food is, it's fair food, or are you still one of these guys that's like, they've got like deep fried peanut butter and jelly. I go check that out.
No. Now, what I do is I say to people, there's some fabulous great fair food, and I've sampled it all over my time, and I love it, but when you do 100 to 150 days of it a year, you can't eat fair food constantly. But I will promote it. I say, you eat all you want. Why? Because you're only here maybe once a year, and it's not going to hurt you. Nothing in excess. If it's in excess, it can hurt you, but like this, no. But if I were to do it, everywhere I go, it would be to excess. So I actually eat more healthy on the road than I do at home. Why? Because when I go home, my wife wants to spoil me and fix me all the stuff I don't eat on the road. So
I would have never known about the flight school stuff. When did that start?
I've been doing flying since back when I could afford to actually get it. Since about 2005.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Unless you're serious, though, won't get into it because it's expensive nowadays. I mean, just to learn now, it costs about $12,000.
That's amazing. Well, before we let you go, my friend, how do people get a hold of you online and all the various things?
My mainstay is through Facebook. I don't have the time to get all of this other stuff, but and I'm represented by a talent agency, so they handle almost everything for me.
That's awesome.
And I piggyback off of their social stuff. But if the people want to get a hold of me on Facebook or check me out there, or my gosh, YouTube, I'm all over the place.
Oh, you are all over YouTube.
Just Ron, my first name, the middle initial L Diamond. Ron L Diamond on Facebook. You can't miss it because I'm sitting there going on my profile. So.
That's awesome. Well, I always love chatting with you. I always learn something new every year. Thanks for doing this, bro.
Oh, always.
And thanks to the lovely and talented Britannia and Bob Hunter. I was getting ready to call Bob Hunter lovely and talented. It is Jiggy Jag TV.